Right, so brand new steering rack, and I saw a leak, and I was thinking to myself, don't tell me the new power steering rack is leaking. Following the oil, I can show you here. Where's that switch? There it is. And it's leaking from the switch again. So I was thinking about trying to tackle this a different way, because you can get up there for a spanner like I did in the last video that I did of changing the switch, and have the spanner modified in a way that you can get in there, because you can't get into that switch any other way. I was thinking, what if I was to undo the steering rack here and bring that over an inch? That would give me more slack more room here to get in there for spanner and turn that. But then, to do that, I'd have to undo the 10mm up there on the steering arm, so that way the steering arm could slide into that mount there. I'd have to undo that bolt here, so I'm going to show you down there where it's yellow anyway. I'd have to undo that bolt there so the power steering lines could move. And then I'd be able to undo these bolts here and just use a crowbar just to pull that out a little bit. Don't unbolt it all the way, so you don't want to make any mistakes. You should be able to slide that back enough to give a bit more room. Just to make that little bit of effort might give me all the room I need. So let's try it. Okay, so just to show you, the 10mm that's there, it's a bit hard to be in there undoing that at the same time trying to hold the camera. So I'll just show you there, got the spanner on there, undo that 10mm, and that will allow the arm to slide up and down. I'm not going to take the arm out, just let it loose in there so it can slide up as I move the steering rack backwards a little bit. So I'm using a tyre pry bar that you remove tyres from rims with, just to get under here. It's a little bit easier than a crowbar. Just move it slightly forward. Okay, and I'll give you the look here in a sec. Definitely a lot more room. I think I'll be able to get in there a lot easier for 14mm now. So there is more room now. This is my unmodified spanner. It's still a trick to get in there though. Sorry, trying to look what I'm doing and hold the camera at the same time. There you can see I've got more, at least an inch more play there now, more room that I can get a tool in here with. I'll just work out how am I going to tackle this, and I'll turn the camera back on. Just cool that off in water. Okay, so I was under the car just then. Looks like I gave it too much of an angle this way, so I just need to bend it back just a little bit. Like, I should probably say, this is hot. Don't burn yourself. Alright, that's how it's looking so far. Hopefully this time I'm successful. Alright, so here's the new switch to go on, and that's a perfect fit for 14mm, but I can't get this spanner to go on the one that's on there. I'm pretty sure it was 14mm that put it on there in the first place. Anyway, I'm just going to give this a slight shave with the grinder just to make the gap there a little bit bigger. And you can see it's on there, and I can turn it, but it's only the beginning of it, so obviously you don't put it on too tight. So I'll be able to undo that by hand now and take it off from the top. I want to have a look at the proper size of what's going on there. I'm expecting to lose a bit of power steering fluid. The one that I put on there was 9/16, not 14. But the one I'm putting on is 14. Hopefully I can hold the camera at the same time here. That tool could have done with a little bit more bend on it, but you can see I can get that in there. But anyway, you can tell by the angle here that what I'm getting at. Should show you there. It's too hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time. So a little bit more angle there. You sort of turn a little bit, there you go. So I'll just keep on doing that until I get it tight. It doesn't always work out how you expect it to. Because I got the spanner on there properly, I've had to cut the end off, and having that steering rack rather, move forward like that does help a lot with trying to get in here and do this. So this is the connection I was talking about, and it's supposed to be a spring-loaded press mechanism here. So you can press that, release the connection, and then you just push it on, and you can hear it click when you put it on. You know it's locked in place. But I've never had a problem with this coming off. This wire that I've put on it does nothing. That was just giving it something to go, and yeah, you'd leave it on there. It just never comes off anyway. So no dramas. When you are putting this back on as well, the new switch, don't be discouraged that it's not going on straight away. You've got to get it in its sweet spot to be able to twist it back in. So, I was sitting on a chair over here, getting over the bonnet because the car's on ramp, so it's pretty high. Getting over the bonnet there, reaching down, and I don't know, it probably took me a good 3 minutes to find that sweet spot and be able to twist that switch in. So don't be discouraged thinking, oh, the switch doesn't fit, because you're not finding a spot straight away. Work with it. If you want, you can compare them both before you put it in. Anyway, I'm going to find out what thread that is. I'm going to find a bolt that's short like that from a bolt barn. Next time if this switch goes again, I'm going to have a bolt handy. I'm just going to replace it with a bolt and forget about the switches altogether. And so the steering arm's done back up, and definitely loosening that steering rack and giving yourself a bit of room there does help a lot. Either way, it is a tricky job, so just take your time with it, don't stress. Okay, so this new switch I just put in also failed, but that's my fault, 100% my fault. You can see where it's dripping to right now on the floor, but also along there, so you get a kind of like a misguidance, like you think that it's leaking from around here or somewhere else, because the fluid rather, travels everywhere around and it kind of like misleads you. But if you get up there and have a good look, now sometimes it can be the seals, but this is a brand new power steering rack. I would doubt that it's that. You can see it's leaking from the switch, but just before install, from waist height it dropped, slipped out of my fingers. I thought to myself then, I hope I didn't damage it, but I put it in anyway, and yeah, from day one it's leaked. So I'm giving up on this. I'm going to put a bolt in, so I'll show you what size bolt it is and everything in a sec. Yeah, I got home not too long ago, so just waiting for the power steering to cool down a bit before I go taking that switch out. This is the bolt I'm going to be putting in. I forgot to get a crush washer, but that little O-ring there should be enough anyway, but if it's not, it's only a bolt to remove and then put a crush washer in and put it back in. So them's the brakes, you make that mistake. Did ask the bloke for a crush washer, but after the search for the correct bolt, totally forgot about the crush washer. You can probably tell already that I've got a socket on there, and it's an 18mm socket. And I'm not caring about how it removes, I'm caring how it goes in. So just with a small ratchet there. What a pain in the butt that is. Nah, it wasn't turning at all. Thought it was. I'll have to get the spanner. So that's the one that I just pulled out. I can't see any marks on it to show you where I dropped it, but this is the one I dropped. The interesting thing is that the genuine pressure switch that was in this car lasted nearly 24 years. And now this is the third one in 2 years. And obviously the third one is probably my fault. That's, I would say, 100% my fault why it failed. But the first two in 2 years, that's just crazy. And I'm not confident of going to Ford and buying one, because they're probably just buying the same part that I bought anyway. So one of the parts I got was from China, the other one I got was from Super Cheap. Both of them failed, you know, in basically a year, maybe under a year. And this third one I got was from Auto Parts Online, and I dropped it, so it's just, you know, my bad luck. But anyway, it is what it is. So that's it there, just a bolt to plug it in, or plug it up. I'm going to open up one of these to see what it looks like on the inside. Now that one's from Super Cheap, the darker one from Auto Parts Online, and I figured that the Auto Parts Online one was original because it's the same colour as the one that came off originally. But anyway, like I said, I dropped that one, so my bad. The purpose of the pressure switch is so when you go into a full lock and the car's idle drops, the pressure switch will engage and tell the idle of the car to come up. Right. I'm just going to leave that connected and stuck up there. Just resting in there, out of the way. We've got more fluid on the exhaust than I thought I did, but generally I'll give it a clean before I start the car. Anyway, so I'll give that a go. I'll just monitor it, make sure there's no leaks, and I won't finish this video off until I've done that, so I'll give it a week or two, make sure it's all okay, and then I'll finish the video off. I actually had the video finished off with the first part, but because of this fault, or because of the leak, I decided not to upload the video yet until I can do this part of the video. So there's your switch, your pressure switch there. That's your diaphragm that pushes this pin up there, from what I can tell so far. Engages that switch just to tell the car for idle higher or lower. Pretty basic system. And the common problems, the common places for it to leak is around the seals here and around the seal on the bottom. Look at this rubber seal there. Oh, okay. I'm pressing it, but I can't get into it. No, there's no way to get into that other section inside. Maybe if I was to cut that away, but I think we pretty much know what's on the inside there. That's all it is. You got that part there, the diaphragm in the middle, which pushes against that needle there, and this seal here is supposed to stop all the oil leaking all around. So the fault is the seal that's used for the switch. If that seal sealed off properly, that wouldn't leak around there. But then you also got the problem with the fluid that leaks past the connection here. And you can, I don't know if you can see in there, but it's quite clear that, since I'm not going to use this anymore, I'll break that away. You can see that that just goes through there, so the fluid will go past these connections at some point if the switch is not made properly. So I would say that the 100% sure thing is to just plug that hole up, forget about the switch altogether. If you're parking and you happen to put a full lock on the steering, you're going to hear an idle drop. When you're busy cruising or whatever, even if you had to do a sharp turn when cruising, you're not going to get that idle drop. It's very disappointing to see the switch after all these years is still poorly made. Surely they could have come up with a better idea. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. I'll catch you at the next one. Cheers. I was thinking about going about a different. I was thinking about tackling this. Shit. That was clever. But the switch doesn't come off. The connection doesn't come off. Start again. Right, I'm just trying to give you the top end view while I work underneath the car. And this is the bolt I'm going to put it on. And I'm going to leave a switch. After changing the pressure switch, I can